welcome back. I decided I wanted to do another video of the produce bag. I realized that the one I worked on the other day was actually 2 extra rounds of increasing, which made it much larger than the bags really need to be. So I wanted to work on a pattern, on the pattern and show you the produce bag as it was written, with only going up to round 6 as an increasing round, which is where we are here. So you can see here in the middle, that was our magic ring and 6 single crochets. And then round 2, where we did 2 double crochets in every single crochet, and then we kept working our way out. So we have round 3, 4, 5, and 6. We've got our corners here and here and here and here where we start. And for the next round, round 7, we're not going to do the corner increases anymore. So we're only going to work 1 double crochet in the corner spaces instead of doing 2 like we have been for the previous rounds. So I'm going to get working on this. I wanted to show you where we were now so you could see what you should look like if you're following the written instructions, which you can find on my website handyfinch.com. So I'm going to get working on working up the sides of the bag, stopping increasing and doing 10 or 11 more rounds with no increases to get the length of the bag. And it should go a lot quicker. It should go a lot quicker than this blue one because it's actually 8 stitches less every round. Because every extra increasing round adds 4 stitches, so it'll be quite a bit smaller, but it'll still hold a lot. And I'm going to show you how much we can fit in it as we get it worked up. So we're going to cut here for a second, take a break, and I'll be back in a little bit with a much more worked up bag to show you. Alright, so we're back. I've worked up the sides of the produce bag. I ended up doing 14 rows with no increasing stitches. I think in my pattern I said at least 11, but when I was working on it, it just seemed like a few more rows made the bag a little more proportional, and I got to this size and I like where we're at. So here I've marked off where our handles are going to go. We're nice and even on both sides. So let's get going here. I also wanted to show a little closer up the foundation single crochet stitch that I did in my last video. I don't think it showed up very well, so we're gonna do that again so you can see it a little better closer up. So I'm just going to work my double crochet and chain 2s around until I get to the space that I marked, and that's where my handle's going to start. And I am working on the first row of my handles. So I've started working my double crochets around, and the next space is a marked space which we're going to skip. We're going to skip from here to this other marked space. So I did my double crochet, and now I'm not going to chain 2. Instead I'm going to start my foundation single crochet, and I wanted to show this again and hopefully catch a little better this time exactly what I'm doing to do this foundation single crochet stitch. I think it was a little harder to see on the last video I made, so I've been struggling a little bit with my camera here, trying to get it to focus and also keep my crocheting in frame, but be zoomed in enough that you can see what's going on, because it's a pretty tiny thread. But also, if you can figure out how to do a foundation single crochet on a larger yarn, you'll be able to translate that to the crochet cotton. So let's get going. First, I'm going to start off by putting my hook through this part of the double crochet stitch, and I just need it to scooch right in there, and you end up with 2 little loops on your hook that you've slid through. So I'm going to yarn over and just draw up a loop, and then I'm going to chain one through just that loop, and to help keep my tension I like to hold on to this stitch, and then it's easier for me to see where my hook needs to go to start the next stitch. So that's the foundation part of this stitch, and then we yarn over again and draw through the remaining 2 loops on our hook, and that's the single crochet part. So now I'm going to put my hook right in where I've pinched, and you can see I'm going through 2 loops, and it's this nice little pattern of a loop through a loop here. So we draw another loop through, yarn over, make that chain again. That's another foundation. And you can see that here. I'm just gonna hold it so I know where to go next. And then again, yarn over and draw through 2 loops, and that's the single crochet half of the stitch. So right here what we're looking at is the double crochet, the first stitch, and the second stitch. And this is the base of the second stitch here. So again, I'm going to insert my hook, make sure I'm catching under 2 loops here, yarn over, draw a loop through, chain that loop that you just pulled through, and then make the single crochet. And you can tell I'm doing it right because I'm getting a nice even pattern here. So we're going to do one more. Just like that. And I think we'll do 1 or 2 more stitches just so you can see, and then I will set it down and we'll pick through it a little bit. Okay. Okay, but I do just want to draw your attention here. We get this nice pattern along the top. We've also got a nice pattern of our stitches. They look nice and neat and tidy. And then also down on the upside down on the bottom part of it, it's also pretty nice and neat. So if we wanted to pick up again, doing a few more stitches, we can spread this out a little bit and see that this is right where we need to put our hook in. Kind of splitting that chain and catching the side and the back. Okay, so to do our bag, we would just keep working this till our handle's the right length, join here, and then do the single crochets all around just like we did in the last video. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that, and then we'll come back and we'll see how much produce this bag can hold. Okay, we've made it to the end of our bag. This is the small produce bag, but even though it's small, it can still hold a lot, as we'll see here. I've got 3 smallish sweet potatoes. And they fit no problem. And we can also throw in 2 oranges for good measure, And you can see the bag just stretches and accommodates them easily. And because we have the handles, we can always tie off the top and we don't have to worry about anything falling out. So there you go. That's the small produce bag, small not so small, holding all the goodies you can imagine.